Hello class, welcome to another math lesson. Today's lesson is an introduction to standard form and slope-intercept form. Let us consider the following equations. So here we have a 2x plus 3y plus 6 equal to 0. You have seen the three terms, right? And writing in this nature, in this fashion, we say it is in standard form. So a standard form looked like exactly ax plus by plus c equal to 0, and you should have the following conditions. The first term, the coefficient of the first term, that is the coefficient of x, should be a positive, and the coefficients of x and y, that is a, b, and the constant term cannot be a fraction or a decimal, and they have to be in the same order, meaning x term first, the y term next, and the constant term the last. Let's see the second equation here. So we have here y is equal to 5x plus 7. You have seen this equation earlier, the last class. So writing in this particular way, we say it is in slope-intercept form. So a slope-intercept form is written in the form y equal to mx plus b, where m represent the slope and the b represent the y-intercept. So let's do a few examples. Okay, here which equations are in standard form, right? So we have few here, and if not, write the letter of indicating which conditions that is listed in the box here is not being met. So the first one here is negative 2x minus plus 3y minus 6 equal to 0. So you see here the coefficient of x, which is negative 2. Oh, the first one should be a positive. Therefore, this condition A is not met. Okay, the second equation we have y minus 4x plus 7 equals 0. There is no fraction, and the first term, see here, is positive, but what happens here? Oh, it is not in same order, right? And we can say this letter C, that condition is not being met. Okay, the next equation, here we have 3x minus half y minus 9 equals 0. You notice that there is a fraction, and we can't have a fraction in the standard form. So this second condition, that is B, is not being met. Okay, next equation. Here we have x plus y minus half equal to 0. See, a and b, okay, this is the coefficients are 1 and 1, that's good. Then minus half, it is a fraction. The same situation as like before. Okay, it shouldn't be a fraction or a decimal. So the second condition, that is not met. Okay, the next equation, 5x minus 8y minus 6 equal to 0. There is no fraction, and a, the coefficient of x is positive, and they are in this it's the same order. So it is in standard form. Next example, that is 5x minus 7y equal to 9. There is no fraction, and the coefficient of the first term is 5, it is positive, but you see that the 9 is at the right side, right? So it's not in the same order as we defined at the beginning. So the condition C is not met. The next one, 5y plus 7x plus 65 equal to 0, and no fractions, and is positive, but then you see x and y, it is not in order, right? So therefore, the third condition, that is C, is not being met. Okay, the next one. Here we have 3x minus 7y equal to 0. You notice there is only two terms, right? And we are missing one term. And what could be? That is okay, right? And what could be the third term? Okay, the third term, that is a constant, could be 0. So then in that case, you could say it is in standard form, it is in same order, and also there is no fraction, and also the first term is positive, so it's good. Okay, the last equation. Here we have x minus 8y minus 0.2 equals 0. Oh, there is a decimal, so that is not allowed. So it is not called a standard form. So the condition B is not met. All right, so then now we're going to look for slope-intercept form. So here there is a question here which we need to look for. Which of the following are already in slope-intercept form? So here we have a few examples. If not, we need to correct. We need to write as in slope-intercept form and then state the slope and the y-intercept. So the first equation, y is equal to 3x plus 5. Yes, so it's a 3x plus 5 and y is all alone there. And then when you closely watch, see, yes, it is in the right format. Yes, it is in slope-intercept form. The next equation here we have y equal to negative 1 over 4x minus 8. Right? So before we proceed, let's finish this first one, writing the slope, which is here is 3, and the slope which is 3, and what is the y-intercept here? It is 5. So the next equation, y equal to negative 1 over 4x minus 8. As you see, y is all alone, okay, and here you have negative 1 over x and minus 8. It is the correct order. Yes, this is in slope-intercept form. So what is the slope here? It is negative 1 over 4 and the y-intercept is negative 8. Okay, the next equation here, y equal to 4 minus 6x. See, the order, that is an issue here. So we need to rewrite that in the correct order, which is y equal to, we need to bring the 6x, that is negative 6x, as the first term after the equal sign. That becomes negative 6x plus 4. And then here is what is the slope? The slope is equal to negative 6 and the y-intercept is 4. The next equation, negative y equal to 2 over 3x minus 2 over 5. As you see, there is a negative, y is not alone there. So I'm going to write here, this is negative y equal to 2 over 3x minus 2 over 5. So you have seen that there is a negative y. So how do we eliminate, how to get rid of this negative from this side? What you need to do is to multiply every term with negative 1. So here also multiply with a negative 1, here also with a negative 1. And thereby what is going to get, which equals, that you can say positive y, because negative 1 times negative y is positive. That equals negative 2 over 3, because it's a negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. That is then negative 2 times negative 1, that is going to be a positive. You got to get a 2 over 5. And thereby the slope, which is equal to negative 2 over 3, and the y-intercept is 2 over 5. Okay, the next question here is, we have negative 2y equal to 4x minus 10. As you see here, the y is not alone there. There is a negative 2. So let's write that. That becomes negative 2y equal to 4x minus 10. So the question is, how do we eliminate? How do we isolate y? How do we get rid of this negative 2? So we should divide with negative 2. throughout the terms, every term, and then you simplify it and make it that y all alone. So that becomes y equals negative 2 over negative 2, that becomes 1, that reduced to 1, and y is equal to, you have 4 divided by negative 2, or you could reduce that. It's a positive over negative, that becomes negative 4 over 2, that is negative 2x, and then we have a minus, which is it's a negative that is missing here, so you need to be careful writing that. So every term had to be divided with negative 2. So negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So here we have 10 divided by negative 10 divided by negative 2. That becomes positive, and thereby you're going to get 10 over 2, which is 5. So therefore, the slope, which is equal to, in this case, is negative 2, and the y-intercept is 5. Okay, let's do the next equation. Here we have negative 3x minus y equal to 5. So you need to be isolate, you need to be let this y all alone. So what you have to do is keep that y all alone in that left side and take all of the terms to the right side. So you need to transpose that negative 3x. So when you take the negative 3x, when you transpose from left side to the right side, then the negative will change to as positive. That becomes 3x. Okay, and the 5 is already there as 5 there. And now we have a negative y. Again, the same situation as like before. So what do we do with converting, with changing, how do we change that to positive y? The only way that you could do is multiply with the negative 1 throughout the equation, every term. So therefore, that equation is negative y times negative, that becomes positive y, equals negative 1 times positive 3, that becomes negative 3x, and again the same situation, negative times positive, that becomes negative 5. Therefore, the slope in this equation is negative 3, and the y-intercept is negative 5. Okay, let's do the last question here. And this y is equal to negative a over b and x plus p. And there is no numbers here, but it is here the numbers are replaced with some variables here. And see, y equal to, and there is the coefficient of x in this case is negative a over b. And what is the value of c here? B here is p, right? So it looks good, right? Therefore, we can say it is in slope-intercept form. And therefore, what is the slope here? That is comes here. This is a slope that is negative a over b, and the y-intercept is here the letter p. Okay, let's do a few more examples. Okay, and let's see here the first example here at this page, the next page. You have rewriting each equation in standard form. So here we have an equation, right? So two equations are here. We need to rewrite that in standard form. So we need to know what does a standard form look like. A standard form look like ax plus by plus c equal to 0, as we already explained earlier. And remember that the first term it should be a positive, and there can't be a fraction or a decimal, and they all have to be in the same order. So let's do that. So I'm going to write this question here is negative y equal to 2 over 3x minus 2 over 5. And the first thing what you have to do in a standard form, it can't be a fraction. There won't be a fraction. So first thing we could eliminate. You can get out of these fractions. Okay, how do we do that? The only way that you could do is to multiply with a magic number. So what is a magic number here? Okay, the magic number is nothing else. It's a common denominator. So what is a common denominator here? It is the 15. So you need to multiply every term with 15, every term with the 15 to eliminate, to get out of that fraction. So thereby what you're going to get here is negative 15y equals, so you can say 15 divided by 3, which is 5, 5 times 2, it is 10, 10x. Or you could do like, 2 times 15, it is 30 divided by 3, which is 10, minus, same way, 15 divided by 5, which is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. So you see, there's no fractions here anymore. And now we need to transpose this 15y to the right side. And it is 10x is already positive, so I'm going to leave that 10x at the same side. So I'm going to transpose, that becomes, this side becomes 0, this equal to 10x. And if we take this 15y to the right side, as you know that it changed the sign. So negative 15y, that becomes 15y, and the negative 6 is as negative 6. To look neat and clean, like you can change the sides. You can change as 10x plus 15y minus 6 equal to 0, and you need to check, oh, it's in positive, the first term, yes, it's positive. And any fractions? No fractions, good. And are they in same order? Yes, it is in the same order. So this equation is in standard form. Okay, let's do the next question. The same way that you have seen here, there's two fractions here. So let me rewrite that question one more. So half x minus 3 over 4y equal to 6. So how do we eliminate the fraction? By multiplying with a magic number. So what is a magic number here? It's the common denominator. So what is a common denominator? It is nothing else, number 4. So 4 to be multiplied here, 4 to be multiplied there, 4 to be multiplied there. And then the first term, reduced to 4 over 2, that is 2x, minus, and this is reduced to 3y, and that is 6 times 4, which is 24. So it is better now, and as you see, this 24 is the right side, so you need to bring to the left side. Thereby it becomes 2x minus 3y minus 24 equals 0. Now we check it. Is it in the first term is positive? Yes, it is in positive. Is there any fractions? No, there is no fractions. Are they in same order? Yes, it is in the same order. So we could say this is in standard form. Okay, let's do like two more questions the other way around, that we are going to rewrite in slope-intercept form. Remember, the slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So here we have an equation that is 5x minus 8y minus 6 equal to 0. So you closely watch this one. Oh, this is in standard form, right? So we're going to change this, we're going to convert, we're going to rewrite this equation that is in standard form in the slope-intercept form. So how do we do that? So in slope-intercept form, it starts with y. So whichever the y term with that sign, we're going to keep that there. And the rest, everything, we're going to transpose to the right side. So negative 8y equals, so you're going to change this 5x, so that's going to be negative 5x. And then we're going to transfer this negative 6 to the right side, that becomes positive 6. And again, the y should be all alone, but what we have here is a negative 8 with y. So how do we eliminate, how do we isolate y? So the only way that you could do is dividing every term, with negative 8. So here also with the negative 8, here also with the negative 8. And then the left side, which is reduced to negative 8 over negative 8, it's 1, otherwise you can say equal to y equal to, and you have negative over negative, that become positive, you get 5 over 8x, and then you have a positive over negative, that becomes a negative, and you get 6 over 8. And now when you see the last term, that's 6 over 8, oh, this could be, it could reduce, right? You can make it a smaller fraction. Thereby that becomes y is equal to 5 over 8x minus, reduce by 2, so it becomes 3 over 4. And then you closely look at, oh, this start with y, left side is all along with y, and then it is the x coefficient here. This is a 5 over 8 and minus 3 over 4, where 5 over 8 is the slope and negative 3 over 4, which is a y-intercept. That then we can say this is written in slope-intercept form. Okay, let's do one more question, okay, to practice. So here we have 1 over 4x minus 2y plus 1 equal to 0. So the slope-intercept form always start with y equal to. So that means we need to keep that y term the same place here, and thereby we can write as negative 2y equals. The rest of the terms, okay, you need to transpose, okay, to the right side, to change to the right side. So this is a positive 4x. If you change that to the right side, it becomes negative 1 over 4x, and there's a positive 1 there. If you move to the right side, that changes to negative 1. So here there is another issue. That states that is a negative 2 there. And how do we isolate that negative 2? How do we isolate that y? How do we get rid of that negative 2 from there? So the same way as like before, you divide with the negative 2 throughout the equation, negative 2, and here also with the negative 2. And the left side is reduced to or simplified to positive y, which is y equals, you have here a negative and negative, that is a positive, and you have 1 over 4 divided by 2, like I would write that's divided by 2, and then x, right? And then you have a negative over negative, that is positive, you get 1 over 2. So we need to simplify this, okay? So y equals, you can say 1 over 4, you know that it is a division, okay? So you need to multiply, then flip, right? So it becomes 1 over 2x plus half. And you could simplify this. So therefore, y equal to 1 over 8x plus half. And you see now, the left side is y all alone, and the coefficient of x here is 1 over 8. That is a slope, and you have a constant term. There is a b here. It is 1 over 2, and that is the y-intercept. So we could say this equation is written in slope-intercept form.